episode 16. Welcome to Grit and Grace.
Welcome.
Here with the legend himself, the guy that recruited me. No, I'm just kidding. Tyson Pollard. I was like, what? No.
Sorry, bro.
Josh Nilsen. Josh was one of the founders, original owners of the Grit, and kind of like in charge. Pretty much changed door to door, in my opinion, and we're going to talk about that. But the creative genius behind Grit marketing, which in my opinion is one of the main reasons Grit is the way they are, and maybe the reason aside from the sales. So thanks.
Sales is a big part of it, I will admit.
It's true. It's true. But yeah, if you just want to introduce yourself, because I think, and just a foreshadow, we're gonna have. I already told you off camera, but we're gonna have Bob, your dad.
Oh yeah, that'll be good.
On next week, I think. So
sweet.
Yeah.
Josh Nilsen. What kind of like?
Where are you from? Yeah, anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where I'm from. Born in Kentucky. Moved to Melbourne, Australia when I was like months old. Then moved to Johannesburg, South Africa, a couple years old. There for a few years. Singapore, a few more years. Sydney, Australia.
It's crazy.
A couple more years. Then Orange County for a few years. Moved like every 2 or 3 years my whole life. Then Miami from there. And then I moved to Utah, holiday up in Salt Lake for like right when I was starting high school. Mm-hmm. Did that. Never had any idea what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. Still don't. Yeah. And kind of crazy. I ended up playing rugby up for Highland, if you're familiar with Highland rugby, and then just wanted to play in college. BYU had like,
really? I never knew this. Yeah.
Yeah. So BYU was like
Highland's
1 or 2.
The movie.
Forever Strong.
So.
Yeah.
I played rugby in high school too.
Really?
Yeah, I love rugby.
Dude, I don't know if we've talked about that. Sick.
Yeah, rugby in Canada is probably bigger than
we would actually, there was a Canadian team that would come every year and we play them. I don't know where they're from, but
probably Vancouver.
Yeah. But yeah, so I wanted to play in college. Got into Chapman, but they just had like kind of a non-affiliated team. I was like, I want to play for the school. Mm-hmm. I like went and met the coaches at BYU. So I went there. I don't think I'd ever been on campus before I like came down here. And then was playing rugby, going to school, changed my major 5 times. Yeah. And then in the summers, I just went on a mission to Ecuador, came back, and I started selling like a week after I got home for a month before school started. And that was at Green X Pest Control, if you're familiar. Mm-hmm. And did that every summer, and then Ben and I started working together when he and Parker, Skyler, Cal, all these guys came over, and basically it was like I had 2 semesters left studying advertising, and it was like, felt like take a hold of this opportunity we're killing it, growing in sales and all this, or like get this degree I don't really care about that I don't think I'll use in that capacity.
Yeah.
And so dropped out. Was at Green X total of like 7 years altogether.
Wow.
2020 hit, started Grit.
Mm-hmm. So wait, you're at Green X 7 years before Grit?
So, yeah, actually.
So you're really...
My first summer, 2013.
Holy.
So I've been in door-to-door for like 11 years.
Post-mission was 2013.
Yep. So I served 11 to 13.
I was talking to someone, they were like, was it Wills? It's probably Wills. Wills is his younger brother, but I was talking to Will. Was it Will?
Younger little baby brother.
Rocking behind Josh. They're like, rocking behind Josh is the best. He would just butter up people. He's the nicest guy.
I may not have sold everybody, but everyone liked me.
Everyone loved you. Yeah, dude. Everyone.
Mostly.
Yeah, well, yeah. So 7 years at Green X and then the Grit. And then, so what kind of, I've always heard, it's kind of, so this is an interesting kind of backstory. I joined the Grit last year, and this podcast, just to foreshadow too, isn't gonna be about like sales. That's not why he's on this. But I joined the Grit last year. It's probably meeting with the Grit probably a year ago around this time.
Was it?
Probably. And Tyson Folleringham brought me in, and who did they bring in? They brought in Josh, and I was like, oh, he like came in. And it's like
I remember like someone like snuck in or like texted me again where they're like, dude, you gotta meet this kid. You're gonna vibe. I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
It was dope. And he rolled in and I knew right away. I was like, oh damn, this guy's sick. Because he had a pair of like thrashed frag ones. And I'm not even like a hype guy. Like I don't even really care about the Travis stuff.
Yeah.
But if they're thrashed, I'm like, that's dope.
I'm a wear your shoes. I not to say,
But it
like,
was
dude,
with
I
your
totally
pants.
get it. Like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
there's cars that you collect and there's cars you drive. There's shoes. Like, I understand that. I just, if I buy shoes
Especially
or whatever, like, I'm
frags.
just gonna wear them.
Yeah, frags are one of the. And so.
And you know what? I'm gonna send this to Cody Epps right now because he literally transferred schools and took them.
Really?
Stole my shoes, man.
Really? Damn it.
It's messed up.
Yeah, no, that is messed up. And you
him
walked
borrow 'em.
in. I remember he walked in. Then you also had. I still remember you had like they were like grit Dickies pants.
Oh, yeah.
But they were like cut off, kind of like these,
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like the Floods. And I remember being like, what the, like it was the
messing
little,
around with little laser engraving. That's what it was.
it was the subtle details that I noticed like right away. As soon as you sat down, I was like, oh damn, those are sick. Like that outfit is actually dope. It wasn't like the classic grit shirts that everyone has, which are dope still,
Yeah.
but it was like so subtle. Anyways, that's what I was like. That was my entry point, and I still credit a large portion of that first impression to you for sure.
Dude, I mean, it's funny. It's funny hearing that, and like I remember that really clearly. We've talked about it and stuff, but it's like I don't think a lot of people like can either like actually describe how much marketing and brand influences them, and it's pretty crazy. I mean, we were just talking about, Conley and these guys. This studio is sick.
Yep.
It feels different. It looks different. People recognize it as different. And it's like, well, it's like, it can be hard to describe, but it's felt and noticed,
Yeah. No. 100%. And I'm going to make this clear. I truly think Josh is one of the main reasons why the grid is the way it was and why it's been built up the way it is because of the marketing. And I wanted to dive into that first, but so your story, you joined the grit. What did you feel? Do you think your role immediately was like, hey, I want to make this brand of the grit marketing brand? Because people in Canada, people that don't sell.
I actually ran into a bunch of these Canadian dudes at I spoke at a summit in like Fort Worth, I think, for door-to-door con thing. And I remember these Canadian dudes. It was Vantage?
Yeah. Oh, that's.
I think it was Vantage.
Aveda or Vantage.
Yeah,
Vantage,
or maybe
probably.
it was Aveda.
Just recently?
No, it was a couple years ago.
But
But
it was Vantage. It was Vantage. For
it's funny you say that because I remember meeting these guys and they were like, "Dude, what can we do?" I was like, "It's Canada, dude. I don't know.
Dude,
wait for Trump. I guess we'll see."
Literally, I cannot express I think the way the grit has marketed through you has changed everything, and it's one of the main reasons I joined. Like I always talk about, of course I love the dope sales reps that sell a lot, and that's so sick. Like guys that win are dope, but the integration of marketing and the integration of the brand in itself with winning, I think enhances everything.
So what was your first summer?
Like what did I
selling? No. What year?
2021.
2021. So I'll give you a little backstory and then kind of how we got to it. So my first summer, 2013, for like a month, and then after that, 14, 15, dude, it was this like and people that have like been around or seen it like know what I'm talking about, dude. It was like a do not post about your reps. If you do, it's like you probably don't put their face. You put like Noah T sold whatever, but like even that wasn't happening because there was this crazy fear of like getting your guys poached. It was like, dude, they wouldn't dare tag somebody. It's like flooding the DMs. Like, dude, no one posted about stuff. It was just this
Keeping
fear
everything.
thing. So there was that. And then there was also like, dude, no one cared about their brand really. People had like their pest control brand and that was their brand, which is like, dude, a consumer facing, like Target brand or whatever, right, is like not appealing to your actual, like as a recruiter, your actual target audience of, 18 to 30, whatever, And so it's like, okay, well, hold on. A, why are we afraid to post? B, like, can it not be cool? Can it not be this hideous cringe, everyone's something green, pest solution? Like, it was just all the same, all bad, and not like highlighting people. So in the summer, we were back at Green X. Ben Egan, let's see, this is like 20, I think their first summer was like 18. Yeah, 2018. So Ben Egan and I served our missions together. So that's how we know each other. He was at Vantage for a few years with like Parker, Skylar, Cal, some other guys. And so Ben and I start talking. We end up bringing them to GreenX. And then from there, dude, it was crazy. So we went to Detroit that summer, and we're killing it. And I just made this Instagram account. I don't even think at the time. This is like 2018.
This is on my mission.
Yeah.
I didn't even know door-to-door was a thing at this time.
You didn't even know the seeds that were being planted while you were out planting other seeds.
That's right. The field is white.
So yeah, dude, we're out there, and I made this like little account, and it was just because like they had their guys, I had my guys that we've been working with, and I was like, oh, like kind of get to know you. So I was like, just this is who's coming out on the team, whatever. And then we get out there, and I'm like, I'm creative, but I'm not a graphic designer, so at all.
Yeah.
And so I just had this like app on my iPad, and I'm like, okay, every night. So it started just like highlighting people, and then it was just this private account, and it was just, dude, it was crazy. It was so crazy to see a kid that would go out, get his ass kicked all day, and then get like a sale or two. We did this thing called First Blood. It was like rookies come out, you get your first blood post. Dude, people, and it was just like, dude, this is like this one little sale. It's like, it's not the same thing as like, hey, dude, bro, how was it? You got a sale, you killed it. Dude, that's so sick. It was like, hey, guys, here's this like little like digital hall of fame for like even what seems like maybe not that crazy. Like to this kid, it matters. And we all know, dude, in sales, nothing sells better than confidence. And so, dude, I just felt like it started turning this thing. It was just like, dude, we could just gas these guys up and they would just go out and rip. And I noticed too, it was like, it's one thing to do it like a day later, but if you do it like that night, so I'd be up to like 3 a.m. like making these things, and they were awful, by the way. Like they're probably all archived, but you could go way back.
Yeah. And I know, is it the classic? Was it the classic black shirts with the little cursive grit? Was it that time?
I mean, yeah. So basically, we started at GreenX. Like Ben and I named our region the GreenX Grit. So that was the original thing. When we left in 2020, GreenX didn't want to grow, COVID, all this. So they were like, you guys can stay and have a limited amount of guys, which we would have no growth. I remember like being like, Will's like, kind of these are the options. Like you could stay here and recruit like a guy, or we can like do something else and you just can recruit whatever. So we ended up leaving, doing that. And
you left your dad's company.
Yeah.
Essentially.
It's crazy. We're asking him about it on the thing. It was honestly, it was interesting. Looking back, like my mom, my dad, all my brothers, me, like all so grateful that how it went. But anyway, so we leave. We end up partnering with Garth, who had the second biggest regions, working with like Jackson Jr.
What was it? Tide?
The High Tide region. Yep. And then John Taylor was the VP of Sales at GreenX at the time, who Ben and I had worked with, like you talked about on here, and so he's running some different teams for us. And so we all had a great relationship, and we're like, hey, like we want to go do this. And so we started talking, and then we were like, well, at this time we had this account that was now public and had this like, kind of notoriety and like
that was the high GreenX.
Yeah. So 2019, year later, we're in Philly, crushing it. Like, I think like at the time, like a insane, pest control team would be doing like 5,000 accounts.
Is this where the grit cursive logo?
So that was, that originally was with GreenX.
The 2018 year.
Yep.
With the black shirts.
So 18, 19, 20. And then even like first part of like grit marketing is like an independent, thing. We had that for a minute, and then we just did a huge revamp. We worked with MFG, David Wise, Corey Sistrunk, like their whole team, who unreal. I mean, you probably know these guys, like, and that's when we really like did this huge brand audit. It's like, cool, like let's lean into this.
What year was that?
So that was 2020.
And that's when you guys
21
completely separated.
So we had left the grit, or we'd left GreenX, and that's when like me, Ben, Garth, John had officially been like, cool, it's going to be called Grit Marketing officially. But kind of like the name The Grit had just like stuck from being, GreenX and just prior to that. So that's when, and then we started like really building out the brand in 2019. So backing up a year, we did 11,000 accounts in Philly. Mm-hmm. That was like, with Cody, with Cody, Cal, Parker, Skyler. I mean, dude, the dogs.
That's when guys were like
Jacob Shear, Easton.
2020 or 2021?
This is 2019.
2019.
Yep.
So this is like just the rise. The absolute rise.
That was the year. So what happened, dude, is we had these guys going out. It was the craziest thing, dude. I think this was actually, this was like Cody's first summer. I had known Cody from like college and before and stuff. And so dude, this was like the explosive year, like the year. Yeah, we like a good team would do like 5,000 counts. We did like 11,000. Right before the Rumble, we had, dude, like it had now become this thing of like the teams were just like loving. And I'm trying to think, I guess it was just that team. But the hype and the just like fueling of these guys with this social content was like,
nothing.
You could feel it in the air, dude. It was just crazy.
Yeah.
And I remember telling Ben, I was like, dude, like we had done like the Rumble seeding rounds, the big end of the year tournament, that everyone just like, you got to win it,
And this is 19.
This is 19.
This is when you were so small though, still like.
Green X had grown, dude. My first summer was like 8 reps.
With Green X.
This is at Green X still.
Was the Rumble then, does it exist
so
at Green X?
the Rumble, I think they still do it, but it started there, and dude, we just like undefeated, didn't lose a day, literally. But and like I don't even think,
not even
like
close.
we could like fact check this, but I don't think anybody like ever had like half of what our thing was. Like it was the most stacked team in door to door. Like I bet anything. It was just crazy, dude.
Yeah.
And the culture and all these things. So I remember saying to Ben, I'm like, dude, we got to make this account go like public. Like it's too powerful, and it was this thing, we were like about to standardize pay and make some like big adjustments. And it was kind of this like debut of like, hey, like to the public, like people kind of heard this or that. And it was like, dude, we're going out. And like, dude, it just started like catching fire. And then our guys just like went off, dude. It was crazy. So we swept the whole thing. There was some good like trash talk back in the day. You can ask Garth. Between the Grit and High Tide. It was way fun. I mean, those are the days, dude. But so from then, dude, it was crazy. We basically had this thing. It was like, hey, if this isn't the best place for you to be personally, then we fully support that you should be doing the best thing for you. Who are we to say that this is the best spot for you? Yeah. And really, like, there's this level of accountability, but there's also this level of like pride that comes with like being able to say that, both like us as like leaders and then like our guys of like, yeah, dude, like people can talk to me and like if there's better opportunity, and it's like, cool, dude, we fully support you. And what it said is like, hey, like, so we're coming out, we're tagging people, first name, last name. I'm like in the morning, I'm like pulling people out. I'm like, hey, like portrait mode, like, we'll get like these little like
2020 now that
this is 2019 and 20, like, so just
it's all kind of transitioning.
So and then it was like, dude, I'm like helping manage, do all this stuff, selling during the day, going home at night, like just making posting these crappy posts.
Now it's public. And 2020 you went public with your Instagram.
So 2020 we leave whatever, we rebrand, it's just Grit Marketing. Yeah. So now we're a third-party sales force. We worked with 13 companies that year, and we're just the sales force. What the dope part was about that is, dude, you're no longer a pest control company at all.
Yeah, it's a brand.
It's a brand. Like no matter how you slice it, dude, a pest control company, even the coolest, best, whatever, is still like you kill bugs. And like as a business, great business and all that, it's just not a sexy thing, and it's hard to make it sexy.
Yeah.
But what you can make sexy is like the culture, the people. It was a tall order, but we were like, I really felt like the challenge was like putting a new face on door to door that, in my opinion, had been so cringe and like just like forgot, like just not even considered that that's like a valuable asset. Mm-hmm. So kind of, during the year and stuff, dude, like I would say like at my core, I'm good at selling, but like I'm a great recruiter, and that was like what I would do. So I would be in these meetings just every day, all day.
Consistently.
And then it was like, okay, well, it feels like there's a way to like get out there. And it's kind of funny. I feel like people like a little bit, you know, at whatever company you're at, the grid or whatever, like you take it for granted, almost like when it's like the brand is good. But it's hard to like attach it to like, oh, like did Noah consider working at the Grit because we like appealed first with like having a brand that he would be like, okay, attaching his personal brand to. And
the answer to that is yes.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, well, like what percent of that? It's hard. So it's like
hard. You can't really, it's
you
not
really
a quantity.
can't.
You can't. Yeah. There's no,
and so if you try to, you'll just be like frustrated. And it's like what we basically did is like, we're like, hey, we believe in this. We think that this adds value. And like, honestly, what I know, because I am like the target market and whatever, I'm like, dude, I want to work at a place that I'm like excited to like tell people I work at.
Yeah.
People that work at these companies that aren't, it's like, dude, you're not excited to like bring guys in to meet. You're not excited to go to the building and do these trainings, meetings, whatever. You don't want to like wear the stuff. It's like pest control, like, you know,
Aptive environmental.
Yeah, and it's like, and
no
dude,
offense to
no, but I mean, it's actually crazy. Like, you know, Keegan,
Insight Pest Solutions.
That's what everybody was,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And it was just these like pest control shirts or whatever. And my buddy now is the creative director at Aptive. I don't know if you know Keegan.
Did he just get?
Yeah, like a couple months ago.
Well, it makes sense because I can see Aptive going that way too.
Well, 100%, dude. It's just like I remember Lyman, who was the creative director at Empower, like, you know, a few years in. Jake Reedy, our creative director, is like my best friend. He's just like, dude, like what you guys did, like, created a job for me as their thing, because they were like, hey, like, you know, these are his words, not mine. I don't know how true that is, but like it became a thing where it was like, oh, okay, like people are having good brands. Okay, people are doing different events. People are like trying to build something that's unique and like embodies their people.
Yeah.
And it's funny too, like when people try to like be like, hey, like help build this brand for me. I want it to be like, it's like, dude, if it's not what you are,
it's not gonna work.
It's not like it won't be felt the way you think it's going to be felt. And so, but dude, one of the biggest things is 2020. We're at like the North Star building up on the top floor by the mall, and I'm like looking for someone. I'm like, dude, I'm like recruiting all this. I'm like, I need like support. So I called Jake Reedy and I'm like, hey, dude, he's like in California doing some other thing. And I'm like, dude, do you know anyone that would be like a good, like someone that's good at like design,
branding,
video,
just
brand, I'm just like, do you know anyone who's good at everything that we could, you know? And he's like, dude, a couple people, whatever. We ended up like, I'm like, well, what about you? And he's like, oh, I don't know, let me think. So we start talking and Jake comes on, and dude, that was where,
this is year
it just
what?
changed,
this is after 2020.
It was like 2021, probably like early 21. So Jake was like our first creative. He was like probably like our third hire. It was like Jaden,
So at this
Scott,
point, you didn't have an official creative. You kind of just took the role because you're like,
I'm just like in off moments, like trying to like
bringing in design,
do this
creative.
Yeah, and then it was just like,
then you're like, no, we need someone to actually do this.
Yeah, I was like, it got to a point where I'm like, dude, like I want it to be way better than I'm capable of making it. Like doing like the actual thing. I'm like, I'm good at like concepts and things, but like I'm not a designer. I'm not a video guy. I can like, you know, direct or whatever, like art, you know, but like Jake comes in, kid can learn anything. Dude, he's on Slug magazine interviewed, and they're like, well, what kind of like art do you do? He's like, I mean, it's like, I don't want to have a genre. He does like sculpture, paint, airbrush, tattoo, graffiti, 3D print,
creative mind,
CAD. I mean, dude's crazy. If you bring him in, and literally, I remember it was like a week in, and he's looking at the building plans, and he goes, dude, I think we need to make a really big pivot here. We had the building that we found, the space,
which is like
just a shell.
Any other office.
It was basically, think of like
Vantage has it.
A new. It was a new, nice, cool office with like a basketball court.
Yeah, it had a basketball court. That's good.
Yeah, and it was going to be like half the size of what it was. Jake comes in.
Oh, so this was the designs.
This is the original designs.
To be, okay, yeah.
Chucked them, dude.
You're like, no.
Jake literally, he's like, dude, honestly, if the only thing that I contribute here at all is that you get this building right. And so we're like, okay, well, let's look at it. We start meeting with Corey Sistrunk, MFG, those guys, and David Wise, who was working for Urban Outfitters before. Mm-hmm. Crazy talented. I don't know if you know David, but
I think I've heard of his name.
So these guys come in and we're like, dude, we want to like redo this. So we do a huge brand audit. They come in, they like interview our reps, interview, managers, like rookies, corporate, whatever. And they're like, okay, they break it down. It was like 156 page like brand guide. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, these are the things that like embody who you guys are as a brand culturally, like the feel, the look, like all these things. Lean into this. This is working. Don't do this as much, or tweak this or whatever. Eliminate, throw out some stuff. So they do that. And then part of that was like the building thing. By the way, for anybody wanting to take their brand seriously, and I suggest this to people all the time, people, it's one of those things people kind of think they can do themselves. And if you don't do that and really don't understand that, the chances of that like hitting dude are just like really low.
Yeah.
But people that like understand and can like take a culture and put it into like real life, like tangible and like palpable feeling, like you really, I think in branding, like you get what you pay for. That's why the creative team at the Grit, has been, probably still is outside of the sales, like the biggest department.
It's huge.
And so it's like, you can't, so anyway, these guys come in, we scrapped the building plans, dude. It put us back like 6 months. Mm-hmm. Like you can ask John, I don't know if it doubled or tripled the cost for the building. It was a lot. And it was like, dude, we want a home. We want it to feel like us. And everything was built around that. So we work with David and Corey and these guys, MFG, and like, it was like, cool, dude. Well, we're actually going to like cut into the cement. It cost a lot to like put a conversation pit when you come in, because our people, like, this is how they like socialize. It's like they are in these groups here, whatever. And then like as they move into like, more one-on-one recruiting training situations, they move out. And it was all just built around that, dude.
The office space, you talk about the office space and people think, oh, I even tell my friends, like family, like the office space, the Grit headquarters is like a piece of art. It's like you walk in and you're like, this is not about sales. I promise you. This is a brand. This is like something that's a lot deeper than what you can even
imagine. What's crazy is that you say that.
Because it got me. Like when I walked in, that was right when it kind of opened. Tyson brought me in. That's when I met you. And I remember being like, trying to put on a face like, I'm like,
yeah.
Oh.
No, and dude, like thing. And like, it's powerful, dude. Mm-hmm. People make emotional decisions and justify the rest with logic, trying to fill in the gaps. But like, it's funny because so we ended up doing this thing with Sean White and like his partner Miles, and then we ended up shooting some of their snowboards for their. They had just come out with White Space, and they sent like a couple of their people like that I'd never met to come do the shoot at the building, and they walk in and they're like, this one kid's like, dude, what do you guys even do? Like, I don't even know like what this company is, but like, I want to work here. And I'm like,
I've had that happen. So when I bring people
that's
over,
kind of
like,
the point.
Is this?
Yeah.
Like, why is this so dope?
And that's kind of the point. It's like,
was that Sean White that said that?
No, it was these two like people that like did photo stuff for his brand
for White Space.
Like, I don't know exactly what their role was, but like, they come in. This kid's like, dude, like, what is this? And it's the same thing with like the Instagram. It like I was running it and it was like purposefully kind of vague as to what we do, because it makes people ask. Yep. If they know immediately, they're not going to inquire, or they will or won't or whatever. Yep. It just you get a little more through, and then you can start a conversation. And that's like the whole thing I've said always with like the social and like, for recruiting sake is like, I just want to create opportunities for recruiting conversations to happen. So the flip version, I'm sure you still get these texts, bro, like, how you been, dude? Like, what's up? Like, how's your family? School? Okay, cool. Dude, what are, like, by the way, I wanted to see what your plans are this summer, blah, 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 the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's like people like hitting up all their friends like that.
DMs.
DMs,
I just
whatever.
got a DM from a guy from Green X, actually.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I still like I get them all.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's just it's what they do.
Hey, I saw you were following the Grit. Do you sell for them? And I'm like,
Yeah.
brother, no, stop.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
funny, yeah.
It's so funny, and it's like I respect that, and there's
Yeah, it's
like
fine.
recruits can be recruited by that. What's a million trillion times better is like hosting a dope, really fun event that people want to go to. So you put something on your social, and dude, every time in Pronto, I'm like, guys, like if there's a time to like social media plug, like now, and people just get like blast, and it's like, then you've got, you do one thing,
oh my gosh,
and you're like, dude, this work thing, whatever, and people are like, bro, what is this like cave tunnel, and like you have the jazz court, and like
that tunnel,
dude,
with like my picture blew up.
Oh yeah,
the one that when I
that was like
over,
the first like photo shoot we did in there. It was so sick.
When I switched over to the Grit, they just blew that thing up, and it just blew up over like.
So what is this?
Literally, and I had a guy, and this is from you. Like I'm gonna target this back to you and what you did. Like I'm in a gas station in Cincinnati, and I have a guy come up to me. You know, totally. I'm like, what?
Actually?
Yeah, literally, this happened.
Dude, that's just some random dude.
It's not just a random kid.
That's
random
so
kid.
Crazy.
And it's not because I'm famous. It's not even because like I'm the absolute GOAT.
I mean, we don't know if it's because you're famous or not.
You never know.
I mean,
you never know. But no, I correlate that back. He saw something that was so like, whoa. And it was probably that picture.
Yeah, I mean, dude, and that's the thing is, okay, all of a sudden, instead of you like bullshitting 30 conversations that you don't want to do, they don't want to do, now people are like, wait, dude, like, what do you do? Where's this?
It turns like recruits from you recruiting to them coming to you.
100%. And so it's like, cool, whatever you spend on the building, people are giving out these like stupid sign-on bonuses that don't make any sense, bad business, like the opposite of motivating. Or it's like, okay, put money into something that like, yeah, it might be hard to like really like, deduct like, okay, we put, this money into this, we got this many recruits. It's hard. But if you believe in it and you're like, okay, well, the money we spend in this, we believe is going to help our guys recruit. And when they are trained right, dude, our whole thing was, people remember this, like bodies in the building, dude. I wanted like, when I would train on, it's like getting people in. Because when you come in, dude, you meet the people. You feel what you felt when you come in.
So powerful.
You connect, and then you're like, hold on, wait, this feels different.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard to prove better, dude.
Yeah.
It's a pointless game. It's like, I'm sure you've met with companies. Everyone's got the best sales force.
And everyone's
according to
got
them,
the best commission.
The best commission, the best thing, the best incentives, whatever. It's like, okay, cool. Well, obviously you're biased. I recognize that. I hope you do. But it's like, okay, how about this? I'm going to prove to you we're different. So I prove to you, this is what we do. I don't really care about like what this is just what we do. This is what we're about. This is what we believe. It's how we operate. These are our people, what we care about, and like how you would fit in here, whatever. And so that's like on this end of the spectrum. And then on this end, you're running all this stuff through like, well, okay, I met these guys. This looks like this, feels like that, whatever. And then it's not me convincing you to like, dude, this is better.
Yeah.
It's, you're just going to feel what you feel fits you better. And I can't make that decision for you. Nobody, any recruit, and you let people choose. Cause ultimately, dude, like people should be, whether in and out of sales, like, you got to do what feels right. Like, I don't know if anyone's into human design. My wife, she's just like a human design, whatever. And it's like, I'm like a gut. Like my gut is like what makes my decisions. Yeah. And, there's a lot of people like that. And then there's the logical side. And it's like, cool, well, dude, we do sell. I mean, you can look at the numbers. You can compare that. We have 36 golden doors. These guys have 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
So you kind of make the argument without like making the decision.
It's like the most organic way of recruiting.
Yeah. And it's real, dude. It's real. The thing that I just like hate in the industry is like, dude, look how much money I made. Dude, look at this. Like this could be, it's just like, people are going to be like, we hope and hoped, and I continue to hope, that the Grit is just a place where people can be themselves, come in, plug in, and like get out of that whatever they really want. And it's and it's different for a lot of people.
Which is the smartest. I mean, there's something, it's different. It's different.
So, I mean, long story short, dude, it was like, how can we make door-to-door cool, and how can we make recruiting easy? And, and it was really like, we pushed, and like, I mean, when we did the first rail jam, so we had the big open building. It was literally just 4 walls. Like, we barely had like a roof on it.
That was
like
the
rebar
first.
stand.
Was that the first one?
The first one.
Posted literally blew up.
Thousands of like things all over the yellow and black thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
So, so we did that. I was like, dude, me and Jake were just talking one day. I was like, dude, we got to take advantage of this warehouse. They're gonna start like putting structures in and stuff, like, and then we don't have like a warehouse to just play in,
Yeah.
And so we're like, dude, what if we had like this sick like, ski and snowboard like rail jam? We'd like get like some bands. We'll like get our homies like brands and do pop-ups. We had Thrift Hood, all these guys, right? And like food trucks. We had Mechanical Bull. Like we had set up this like thrashed like 90s living room scene with like projecting SSX Tricky on the wall. Like, and I was like, dude, there was something for everybody.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, hey, like we're going to be in this space. Like we want to just like open it up. Yeah. And we spent like, I think like $70,000, or I don't know if that was the number that we said we spent or what we actually spent. It was probably more than that. But
so sick.
And it was like, dude, it like, I feel like put us on the map in a way people hadn't seen. And, it was just like we believe that this is going to like really like do something, and it's hard, but I just like, for creative, really in anything, like, I don't think you're ever going to regret, like, if you're just, like, feeling like you need to do something, but you'll regret not doing that.
Yeah.
However big or small that is. And I just am not going to live with regret personally. And so it's like, dude, we, like, made this thing happen. And then it was like, okay, cool. Well, then we partnered with the Jazz. Year later, turns out they want to do, like, basically the same event as we're like planning ours with their, so Brian,
and then that intertwines with the
see, dude,
game.
it was the perfect storm. It was
All-Star
crazy.
game.
All-Star weekend every 30 years or whatever. It was like, I don't know if I was born. Maybe I was 1 or 2. Like when last time it was in Utah.
You have that infamous photo. Was it you and Travis Scott? You, Travis?
It was, yeah. So it was us, like Jeremy Jones, Street Jeremy Jones, not Mountain Jeremy Jones.
Dope.
OG legend, like the actual guy, dude. Like this guy's the best, dude. So he was like the director of the event and had been asked by the Jazz when they were planning their event, and then we were planning ours, and then we were like, hey, like let's do them together. We moved ours up, and then we're like, okay, it's actually not going to be at the arena. It's going to be at the Gateway Plaza, and then Travis Scott, Cactus Jack, they were like a collaborator with like all the stuff Ryan was doing and our event. And then like last minute, Sean White had just retired. Jeremy's boys with him. And he's like, hey dude, like, we got a couple last sponsors, whatever. And he was like one of the main sponsors, White Space, his brand. Actually, the sickest stuff I was looking at the other day. If you haven't seen White Space snow, like, dude, Sean White's new thing. They've got this new snowboard league.
His brand
just killing it. Sean White, dude.
Such a sick brand.
Sean White. Like,
such a sick brand.
And Miles and those guys. So bring them last minute. And so it's like me and Jeremy and Sean like hosting the event. And then like Travis came and like hopped on the mic and just went crazy for a minute. And like, but it was like, cool, dude. This for sure would not have happened at all had we like not done the first one, had an idea, believed in it, saw the fruits, and there was just like this like feeling. We joked about like the original whiteboard drawing of like, I think Jake had like drawn an elephant in there. Actually, there was like the rails and stuff, like this little thing of like the idea. We're like, we need to put that on a shirt. We probably still should, but it was like that came to life and then grew even bigger.
Yeah.
And I mean, all those things, in my opinion, it's like, well, dude, what does that have to do with sales? It's like, it doesn't have anything to do with sales.
No.
It has everything to do with what Noah likes.
Exactly.
And what will make it really fun and easy for Noah to invite his friends to like a recruiting event, which it's not, dude. It's like doing the right thing and doing things for people that like you don't need to be done. Dude, like the byproduct is like
it's always the
financial or business or whatever, but it's like just like doing stuff for people the right way.
Dude, you
goes
literally
wrong.
Speak my language. And me and Tyson, you know Tyson Fotheringham.
Oh,
one
yeah.
of the dopest kids at the grid.
Got punched in the face by our neighbor, this 80-year-old guy up at our family's cabin.
One of the funniest.
Have you heard the story, dude?
He's like,
this is so funny.
He's like, you just punched me. It's like, no, I didn't. He's like,
there was a bit of a miscommunication, but yeah, I know Tyson. Yeah.
That story brought me to tears. When he
Wills and them are shooting guns like in the spot where they're not supposed to by this guy's horses. Comes over. Tyson's just smiling on the front porch. Dude walks up, decks him in the face.
Boom.
It's like, what the hell, dude? He's like, he's like, I've never been here. I don't know what's going on. Will's like, hey, what's up? Anyway, Tyson.
Funniest thing. But me and Tyson, guys like you are the reason. Like, this is everything you've said is everything. It means everything. And it's not even about being dope. It's not even about, it's just it's really aligning yourself with being authentic and being yourself first, creating your own brand.
Which is dope, dude.
It's the funniest thing.
It is. Imagine not being yourself.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
Imagine that is why the people that hate sales the most are like, hey, I'm Josh here with whatever.
Yep.
I don't know if it's just like, dude, like acting all day. I remember like first Zach Seeger was just crushing it, right? I was just listening to your episode with him. And like, dude, Zach to me, the most real. Same thing with Drew, dude. Like everyone has their style, but like, dude, Zach's like, hey, bro, it's like some grandpa. He just like talks to people how he talks to people.
Yeah, he goes, yeah, dude.
Yeah, and it's
I remember, he has pitches. Yeah, dude. He always says, dude, and I'm like, what?
Totally.
Bro? Yeah, it's sick.
But it's like, people have their version of that in whatever their thing is.
Yeah,
it's like people do that in whatever.
And it's not even door to door. It's like this idea of, and me and Tyson, we're creating our own culture within our own team, and we want to build our own design. I met with Danny. You know Danny Facer? Did you ever meet Danny?
Do I know Danny? I hired Danny.
I thought
Mr.
you did.
Zamboni,
the legend.
What is his name? Bojack Longfin from the Kinsel Golden Door video. That was before he worked with us. Oh yeah, no, Danny's the man.
I keep meeting with Danny because this is the energy I'm trying to convey about our team, about me, about Tyson, and we are so tired of the same like sales cultures happening right now, where it's like there doesn't even need to be. You don't need to try anymore. Just be yourself, and if yourself is dope, you're going to bring people, and you're going to bring the right people. You don't need to send 80, 90 DMs a night. Like, it's creating your own space, your own brand, and that's what I'm working on doing. Like, I don't want to be known as the door-to-door golden door or whatever. I want to be known as like, oh, that's Noah. He's dope. Yeah. And he also sells. But, like, his brand, what he comes
I would
with,
love to work with Noah, regardless of what he's doing, because I trust Noah. I like Noah. I, believe in, and then also the business stuff aligns,
the business is
or
sick,
whatever.
But that's the byproduct, right?
Yeah.
It's like when I texted you the other day, I was like, dude, I don't know why, but we got to do something creative. Like, we got to, I don't know what it is. And we think the same. Like, I have the same thing in school. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just, taking random things. I don't even know why. And I'm so spontaneous in a sense, but, there's just this, urge right now in my mind, in my life, to be creative.
You got to get it out, dude.
I know. I don't know. But that's, figuring out. The podcast is one thing.
You know what it is? And it's funny. I remember when we were talking about the podcast, and then, dude, I saw you, post something about, I was like, shit, dude.
You meant it.
This guy's moving. I thought you meant it, but, it was,
the next
week later, and I'm like, okay. I respect that more. Dude, this is no secret, but it's just really not understood. People, dude, talk about doing this and that and whatever. Most people that you're going to suck. Your first podcast is going to suck. Your first painting is going to suck. Your first event might be a joke. Your first hat or song or whatever.
Everything.
It's dude, pretty much everybody, with very few exceptions, that's the case.
Yep.
A year later, though, it's usually not. Mm-hmm. And so it's why don't we? Is it fear? is it fear? Is it we choose something that we think is better, whatever? I think, a lot of people, it's like fear of failing. It's like, well, you guarantee failure by not doing anything. Mm-hmm. So, if you're just being really honest with yourself, it's like, okay, well, doing something is at least going to get me rolling.
The power of motion. Just being in motion.
Dude. Yeah. And
like,
so
I don't know what we want to do, but I want to do it. I want to be creative.
I mean, dude, honestly, we're doing something right now.
Yep.
And it's like, we've wanted to make this happen. We've been busy or whatever. And it's like, okay, well, dude, like,
yeah,
this makes it way easier to do whatever the next thing is.
100%.
And, we're going to do those things to your shoes.
We want to throw paint. Dude, I don't even know if I want to bring in a bunch. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, there's
light them on fire,
bro. It's something. Literally light them on fire and wear them with burnt holes. Like, I don't know. It's so cool because there's a fashion realm, then there's an art realm. It's like all of these things. If you can like bring it together and create this like ball of brand that's like. When I see you, I know Josh because there's a brand about him. There's like a vibe.
He's like stinks bad. Like when we walked in,
exactly.
It like smells
like shit.
Yeah.
That's the brand. I'm just kidding. But like Shane has a brand. Like there's these
guys. Can I tell you something? You mentioned Shane. Let me tell you something that I learned from Shane.
Tell me.
Shane told me, one of my closest friends, and he's like, dude, you've seen Shane. Dude, Shane will wear like this shirt is like a mild outfit for Shane.
Yep. And
I love it. He's like, dude, when I turned like 35 or whatever, he's just like, I used to be like, kind of think about like, well, should I wear this? And he's like, actually, I just decided I'm going to wear exactly what I want to wear. And I'm like, okay. I like kind of like believe that, but not like so like consciously. Mm-hmm. Because like, and he and I, we've talked about this, it's like, dude, like, what I wear is like for me, for how I feel. I don't really care, like whatever. And like, and he said, and I'm like, it's so cool. And then I remember Parker Anderson said something. He's like, Shane, dude, I just like love that you're like, go for it, dude. You're not like, wearing Old Navy, whatever, run of the mill dad outfits. And I'm like, well, yeah, dude, Shane's being Shane.
It's just him.
And it's the same way, we're talking about like the shoes thing.
Yeah.
We gave Jake Reedy, we gave all the corporate people like shoes, like, that we like thought they would like or whatever, go to cooperative or whatever. And have you seen the Mischief Gob Stompers? Mm-hmm. I was like, I know Jake likes these. They're crazy. Mm-hmm. If you guys haven't seen these, they're like the sole is like layered. It's like it's like if you like a gobstopper or whatever.
It's
like
so sick.
It's like purple, green, yellow, orange, red, like this thing. And so when they wear, there's like these layers. Do we give those to Jake? He comes to the office the next day. Bro had like shot them with like a shotgun or something, taking like a skill saw and like to his shoes. And these are like, I'm like, hell yeah, dude. Like
sick.
Like he wanted to do that with that. And it's, plays into like the thing, like
so cool.
Do what you want, dude.
Yeah.
It's so like, why do people not do what they want to do?
It's true. It's because of all the influences around them, and it ties into fashion, ties into marketing, ties into brands.
And it also, honestly, for good or for bad, ties into culture.
Yeah.
You don't pick your culture, dude. You are your culture, and you can either like highlight that you are excited about where it is and where it's going, or hide it and be embarrassed by it because you're not being yourself, or you are being yourself and it's really not appealing or whatever. But like, culture, and you can look at any business, dude, any business, any group, any team, whatever. Culture at the top, if it's 100% at the top, dude, it's going to be that kind of culture, a little watered down or very or whatever, but like it goes from the top down. Yep. And if it's shady owners, if it's like, kind of half truths, if it's, like what it's like, dude, that you're going to feel that all the way down. And unfortunately, you don't get to like dictate or say like, well, actually, I know it looks like this, but our culture is actually. It's like, no, dude.
You feel it right away.
One thing, my dad's gonna come on here, and I remember him saying like, culture is to a company what character is to a person.
Wow.
And it's hard to be like, well, okay, like what's Noah's character? It's like, dude, like, I could like think about it and describe it, but like, it's good. I like being around it, and so, but you just can't fake that.
Yeah, no, it's so true. That is so true. Last couple, 2 questions. What is your vision going forward? Because like for people that don't know, obviously you've not because you don't like the grit, because obviously you've talked how good the grit is, but
It's
like
amazing.
Obviously you exited from the grit and you wanted to do your own path. Even if you don't know, but do you have an idea of kind of like what you want to do, maybe like some?
Yeah. So I mean,
I'm like excited because like I know you're cooking.
I don't know
up
if we've talked about it. Yeah.
No.
So I mean, it's funny. There's a ton of stuff like. So my wife and I got in a really bad car accident in April. Rolled a 3-wheel convertible thing. Actually, like a couple blocks that way. Broke my face. She shattered her pelvis. It was this really traumatic, like awful thing. And so it was weird. It was like, I healed like pretty quick. She was in a wheelchair for a couple months. So I was like, at home taking care of her. When you like zoom back a little bit, dude, it's kind of funny. Like you just can have like a more well-rounded picture of like your life, and things slow down. For me, they did, which I'm not good at doing for myself. So it was forced upon me in a after the fact really great way. But so I was like, dude, what do I want to do? And grit, starting a pest control company and leaning into like that part of the business. And like I'd been in it for 11 years, loved it. It's great. Love the people. I think it's the best thing a person can do,
Yeah.
Early 20s, whatever. And I was like, okay, but I feel like something different. So end up selling it, leaving. And then, dude, I had all these like different opportunities, I was like cool events, sports, music, whatever, like all these things. And then I ran into one of my buddies, dude. He was like working for this oil tech company, and these guys have been working on like for 40 years. This old dude, that they can pinpoint oil with this technology that no one has, and so I invested in that, and I've been like really like working on that with them for a couple months now. Yeah. And dude, it was like, even now when I tell people, they're like, really, like what? And I'm like, well, dude, I don't know. It what's exciting to me is that it's big. It's really big, and it's really disruptive. And I want to work, dude. Like, yeah, I always play, but I like after being out, like in recovery mode, I'm like, dude, I want to freaking
you want to get back
go.
To it. Yeah.
And
go
so
fast.
It was this really awesome thing, and the timing lined up. And so, dude, I'm going to Austin, Texas next week for like
I feel
a
like
month.
You've been in Austin.
We've been out there. I mean, we've been kind of all over, and so this company Hiptera, dude, I'm way excited about it. That is like what I'm doing right now.
But there's also, I feel like you're dipped into so many.
Yeah, the other thing is like yeah, dude, like I want to create. I love creating like like experiences and things for people where it's like you're kind of thrown into this thing that you've never experienced before. It catches you off guard and makes you like think. It's the same way that I love art is like, what's art? Well, it's like, okay, how do I feel about it? I love art that pisses people off. Why? Because it's funny. It's like you get to actually choose your, whatever.
Yeah,
it's like
it's funny.
It's like cool. I want to create these things. So, that stuff, like I'm doing, little projects and this and that, whatever. It's dumb stuff, having fun, traveling. My wife and I have been, just like
season of
kind of all
enjoyment.
over. Yeah, dude. I feel like
you grinded for so long. Have a little bit of,
people. Vest gets quoted, and I totally agree. There's
Vest.
Balance. Vest Pearson.
Oh, from
Owner of Raptor.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, there's like, you live a balanced life, but that doesn't mean like, dude, you have every day balanced.
No.
Like some days when we're working on these grit things, it's like, oh, dude, the amount of like leaving the office at 5 a.m. or we're like in a desert shooting something or blowing something up, like. That stuff's fun. I don't even care. It's not the hours, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's nice to like take some time and like,
kind of
do it in a like
yourself.
More, mellow, good way.
Yeah.
I've golfed a lot. I still suck.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think like golf has a problem. I think I'm fine. Golf is the issue.
Golf's the issue, not you.
But moving forward, dude, I really hope to like, create things for people that it helps open them up to like empowering themselves in the ways that they care about.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes really putting you in like we were just in London over the New Year, and like I came back and dude, I had this like, I was like, dude, I need to start painting again. I haven't painted in years, and I'm like, dude, now it's like such an interest of mine that I didn't think it would be, and it was just like inspiring. Mm-hmm. And so I guess back to the gut thing, dude, like doing what you feel like you should do. I don't know what it's going to be. I didn't know I was going to be in pest control. I didn't know I was going to be like as involved in like the creative, social, whatever. But just following like one thing that feels right to the next, building. Next. And at the end of the day, dude, it's like you work with amazing people. You like have such cool experiences, and hopefully it all is like things that you care about.
Yeah.
And so, moving forward, that'll be something that won't change for me, is just like doing things I care about with people I care about. And that's the fun stuff, dude.
Dude, that's so sick. And I know everything you're going to do is the same scale, just in a different medium. It's just not grit. It's not door to door. You're going to do the same things. It's going to same impact, same, because you're aligned. You're aligned with your values. You're aligned with what you want to do. You're aligned with impact. You're not thinking about money. You're not thinking about, all of the...
Dude, the people that think about money always the ones that don't make money.
Exactly. I always say that.
It's like, dude, like, I don't know how many times people can hear that and still like chase the money. It's like, dude, when you go do things the right way and care about people, that's what everybody wants. And money just comes.
It just is a byproduct.
And then, but like, I mean, dude, props to you. Seriously. Like, I remember seeing the thing and I was like, dude, this guy's for real. And it's like, dude, that is the people like I want to be around. Like, life's short. Be around people that you are going to make you better. And what's harder is don't be around people that aren't.
Yeah.
And, and that can be really, really hard.
100%.
But, it's your life.
I appreciate that, dude. Appreciate it. I definitely want to collab. Like I don't know what it is.
Hey, let's right now we're gonna pick one thing, and what are we doing? What are you doing tomorrow?
Nothing. Let's do something.
Okay, tomorrow at noon we're meeting and we're doing whatever it is.
After 2.
2 o'clock.
After 2. Let's link.
Settled.
Done. It's Wednesday.
Okay.
Done.
Hell yeah.
Okay, cool. Last question. Grit and Grace. When you hear that, what do you think of? That's the name of the podcast.
Yeah. I feel like, first of all, I love the name. I think it's a really.
It was pre-Grit, by the way.
Yeah, I remember. I remember you saying something.
I always tell people that, like, this is before.
Which is funny and great, right?
Yeah, I just give them free marketing for this.
I almost feel like it almost like kind of like depicts like the two ends of the spectrum. There's like this grit of like get it done no matter what, like, ethically and right and what, but like do what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And then there's the other part of like, take care of yourself, like be the friend to yourself you want to be to your best friend, like, be that for yourself. And there's like, sometimes you're here, whatever, but like, I think that is the right, I guess that's what I think of like the balance of like grit and grace and finding your way in there and being on that spectrum and the place that you need for the things you're trying to achieve. I think that's really what comes to mind when I hear it.
Thanks so much, bro.
Yeah.
That's a wrap for this episode. So sick.